if we can jump right into some of your work, I have a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
The film Connor and Annie, when did you shoot that? And when was that released?
Yeah, so that was that we shot that at like the end of February and beginning of March of 2021. So that was my freshman year of college. That was really like the first sort of real short film I'd ever done. I had done lots of kind of little projects and things on my own, when I was in high school and stuff, just because I love filmmaking. But that was like the first one that felt more real, and it was the first one that I did at the college year. Um, so yeah, that the way that that happened was every semester at the college, there's a screenwriting competition. Anybody,
Okay.
anybody on campus, anybody in the film department can submit scripts to the screenwriting competition. And then Mike White, who's our professor, he'll judge them. He has a couple other people who judge them, and then usually they'll pick two or three to be made. Lately, it's been three every semester we've been making. At the time when I made that, it was two. So yeah, I submitted that script because I knew I wanted to make a film, and it got selected as one of the two, and I was able to go ahead and make it my second semester as a freshman here.
So then, cast and crew, are they made up of other students in the film department? Is it just open to anybody? How'd that work?
Yeah, it's generally students in the film department. You
Okay.
can, I mean, that's most of the time. That's what it is. If you
Right.
have friends outside who want to help you, that can absolutely happen. So with Connor and Annie, it was pretty much all film students. There was, I think, one other person who wasn't a film student who we just knew who wanted to help out. She helped with casting and stuff like that. So, yeah, but for the most part, it's all um, film students here. And on all the crews, always it's 100% students. There's no one else from the outside besides Mike, who's like overseeing our projects. But the actual crews are really 100% film students usually. So, yeah.
So who shot it?
I shot that one. Yeah, that's
Nice.
on Connor and Annie. I really did a lot. It was a really small crew, and I wanted to, you know, kind of be involved in as much as possible. So I really like did quite a lot on that one where I shot it and I co-produced it and then I edited it and did color grading and the sound and all of the stuff. When you're making a film at that level, I feel like that's kind of essential so that your what you want carries through, like especially because it was my first one, and I really it felt like a really big deal to me to sort of establish myself with this film. I knew that I just wanted to be involved in everything. So yeah, I was directing that film and shooting it, and yeah, crazy experience that was. So yeah.
Awesome. So, Blake, how long have you been interested in film, and how long have you been interested in that industry there, in telling stories in that way?
Well, honestly, it's kind of hard for me to say because it's been most of my life. I don't even really entirely remember. See, okay, I remember uh I'm quite young, but when I was 10, the first Avengers movie came out.
Hmm.
And I remember seeing that uh and being mind blown. I was like, wow, I love this.
Yeah.
This is great. And I want to make something like this someday. And I remember being really inspired by that. And I think that was a big moment for me that kind of like set me on this path. But even before that, though, and I think I've just sort of recently remembered some of the stuff that I wanted to do it before then. I found a old recording of myself I took on my aunt's video camera from when I was like 6 or 7 years old. And it's like me filming myself and I'm saying, "Hi, my name is Blake Bodlak and I'm making a movie." And that was when I was like, I don't remember doing that. I was
Yeah.
really, really young. So I think that though the desire to tell stories and specifically through filmmaking has kind of always been in me. And I honestly don't even know where it really comes from. But I do remember being like 10, 11, and 12 and getting a lot more interested in it. And when I was 12 specifically, I remember like seeking out more films and like really wanting to dive deep into it. And that's when I started watching a lot of like stuff on YouTube about it. You know, I watched like all the Film Ride stuff, which I'm sure a lot of people have, and lots of other YouTube channels. I found things about filmmaking, and I started to try and write my own scripts. And I've really never looked back since I was
Yeah.
12. I've been like doing it and progressing slowly ever since then. And now I'm 21 and I'm still on that path. So yeah.
The trailer for Molly's Goodbye, did you cut that? Did you edit that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I actually edited that before I edited anything else on the movie. That was like really shortly after we finished filming, like a couple days after we finished filming. I cut that as initially just as a little teaser to give to like the cast and crew, to say like, oh, thank you guys for all your hard work that we did. Here's a little taste of the movie. That wasn't initially going to be what the trailer was, but I just liked it so much, and I couldn't like find any other music that fit as well. So I just decided to release it as the main trailer, because that when I showed it even to like the cast and crew and some of my family, everybody had a really positive response to it, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna make this the trailer. So yes, I did cut that together. Yeah. Mhm.
Nice. I think that's a good call. I really like the trailer. It's nice.
Good. I'm glad. I like the trailer too, and I'm excited about that movie. I've been editing it for a little while now, but it's gonna be hopefully pretty good. I feel good about it right now. And yeah, I'm happy that the response to the trailer has been really positive, and that just makes me feel incredibly encouraged, especially as I'm like finishing up the movie. It's like great. This is a great feeling. So I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yeah, I loved it. The actress who plays the lead, she just seems, I mean, everybody seems really comfortable on camera. They look great on camera. It was really powerful. And the music for that, how'd you select the music for that?
I found it on Artlist actually, quite a while ago. Artlist, I really like Artlist. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. You know, it's just like a royalty-free music subscription thing. But I found that I've actually found that song when I was writing the script in the early stages. That's a big part of the process for me, really, especially really early on in writing, is music and finding the right music. So I'd put together quite an extensive playlist of songs for that movie, a lot of which I figured I won't actually use, but they just kind of fit the tone and the feeling that I'm going for. And that was one of the early songs. And I actually remember finding that song and thinking, if this works for the trailer, I would love like for that to work. Not knowing if it would, because you can't actually really know until you have the footage, but I was really happy when that was like the first song I tried to edit to, because I had found it like a year and a half ago. And I was like, oh, I hope that this works. And then, yeah, it cuts together really well. I was glad, because that song is not in the movie, because there's not really a great spot for it in the movie, but I do love that song. So I was really happy that it was able to work for the trailer. So
yeah, it's cool. I also saw the playlist on your YouTube channel.
Yes.
Playlist. So I assume those are other songs that you put together for that.
Yes, yeah. And those songs, yeah, I put together kind of two playlists, because one of them, which is the one I have on YouTube, is like, I can't use these songs because they're like copyrighted. They're other people's songs. Like I have to pay a lot to use these songs. But they fit the vibe really well. And those songs, like I would send to cast and crew, at the same time that I give them the script, to be like, listen to this while you're reading the script, because they will like help each other and form this more complete picture in your mind, as well as a Pinterest page that I made that I would kind of show them as well, to give as full of a picture of what the movie's going to be. So yeah, that's what that playlist is, and I really like that playlist. But then I make another playlist of songs that are from places like Artlist, or Epidemic Sound is another one I use a lot. That are songs that I know that I can use in the movie, if it works out, if I want to. So yeah, I have two separate playlists in that way. So yes.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's always hard making the tough decisions of what to keep and what to cut out of a film. So like you said, in music and then that kind of thing. And the more you do it, the more you just get like stuff that whether it be in the film, in the script, or in the editing room, you just get more and more stuff to work with and play with, which is a lot of fun. But at the same time, it's like you got to call your shots, so you got to be like, what what stays in and what goes out.
Yeah. Molly's Goodbye, compared to Connor and Annie, is a bigger film in pretty much every way conceivable. It's almost twice as long. And it's there's more locations. It's more emotional. It's like going for something that is more difficult to achieve as a filmmaker emotionally. While I felt like I had, grown quite a bit in that year and a half, I was then like giving myself a bigger task. Every film is going to be a lot different because you're doing it with different people. I had a pretty much entirely different crew on Molly's Goodbye than I did on Connor and Annie, because some of those people had graduated or they were doing different things or whatever. So it was kind of getting used to like working with new people again, which was fun. It's just, it makes it a different experience,
Yeah.
and of course, like a different cast as well, entirely different experience. And also with Molly's Goodbye, we shot a lot in a very short amount of time, which just made it a very it was a marathon in a way that like my first film was. I was also like, there was a lot going on in that, but I
Right.
purposefully tried to space things out more because I knew this is the first short film I've done and I don't want to get in over my head. The way the schedule worked out on Molly's Goodbye is that we had to do a lot in one weekend. So I was like, oh boy, okay, like we're gonna have to really focus in on this one weekend. So that was just, a different experience. It's honestly something I had never really done before, which was achieving like it was almost like 2 12-hour days back to back, which for like working professionals is not that much, but for me was a lot. Like it was a lot to tackle. So yeah, I would say all those made it pretty different. And then also something too, is the gear that we use is a little bit different. The camera stuff, I for both my movies, I decided to rent camera stuff. I use we have some good equipment at the college here, and I use that as well. But I like to have a smaller camera and run it on a gimbal. And so for both films, rented different cameras. So on Molly's Goodbye, we shot on an A7S III, which I had never used before. So it was also like, getting used to that.
Yeah.
It's different as well. So
What was the hardest thing to film in your first short film?
oh man. I think in that film, there are a couple of sequences of like skateboarding, which are really fun. And I was glad we got to do those, but that was definitely a challenge to figure out how to move with them in an effective and dynamic way without entirely losing focus and like literally losing focus, or like or just having it be too shaky or weird. So that was definitely a challenge. Just the more emotionally charged stuff. The last couple scenes of my first movie are more emotional between the two actors. And when I had to, film that and direct them, it was great fun and it worked really well, but it was difficult. This is also I kind of like operating my own camera. I probably won't do it forever, but for now I still do because I feel like I can really get in the scene with the actors and it sort of becomes a dance with all of us. So for Connor and Annie, it's mainly these two actors and then me. So we're all three kind of, figuring out our movements and what we're doing and what emotional beats they have to hit and what emotional beats I have to hit to like capitalize on with the camera movement or whatever. Yeah. And then also too, in that movie, there is a 3 minute long take of them just walking and talking, which I was really adamant that I wanted to do. That meant a lot to me. And there's one scene that's like the last shot of the trailer that we had to get up really early for because the sunrise scene. Um, and that was quite difficult for a couple of reasons, but one of them was that we had to get up so early and we were all really tired because we had just filmed for like 12 hours the day before. So just on like an emotional and physical level to film something like that is quite difficult. And then there's another clip in the trailer that's this scene with all these sparklers and she's walking through this line of sparklers.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really was excited about that scene, and that was really fun, but it was difficult to, everybody has to coordinate. We all have to light these sparklers at the same time, and they only go for like 2 or 3 minutes, and so you really have to be on top of it on what this scene's going to be and what we're going to do while there's all these people around you holding these sparklers. So that was just a lot of coordination and kind of maybe the biggest thing I've coordinated as a director, to be like, okay, everybody light your sparklers now, action, go. And then me like run around with the camera. And yeah, that was a whole thing as well. So yeah.
That clip with the sparklers is a beautiful shot. That's
Oh,
really nice.
thank you. Yeah.
And I have one question. Obviously, as you mentioned, we haven't seen the film, but I'm guessing, and I may be wrong. There's one scene in the trailer with the lead and a friend of hers, very emotional. They're hugging. The one girl is crying.
Mhm.
Was that was she able to do that like on cue? Did it take a little while for her to work up to that, or how did that come to play?
So I'm trying to, is the clip, it's the clip you're thinking of. I'm pretty sure it's also at like nighttime and there's,
It seems like it, yeah.
yes, I think so. Actually, that's interesting because I'm pretty sure the woman in that clip is my mom.
Oh
Um,
wow, okay.
I think it was the clip that I'm thinking of. Yeah, so no one, some people did cry on set just naturally. A lot of the extras in the sparkler scene and some of the other scenes where there's a lot of people are like my family, like my aunts and my cousins and my grandma's there. They all just came for this scene, and I told them the context of the scene. Here's what's happening, and here's how basically you guys feel about it, and that's really all I had to do. And then I just kind of let them go. And for a lot of those shots, and this is sort of gets at something that I care about as like a filmmaking philosophy. For a lot of those shots, it's just them kind of existing, and I'm just kind of running around and filming them. And for some of those shots, they don't even know that I'm filming or that I'm there. So yeah, for that clip, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I just said, here's the scene, here's what we're doing, and then I just said, go for it. And I'm just gonna, don't even pay attention to me. I'll just be around. And yeah, and they did get emotional. Like I was happy about it because that's what I wanted, but I didn't say like you have to cry. I just, I just was like, here's the scene. And then a lot of them did cry. And I was like, okay.
Wow,
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
yeah, I'm excited about that whole scene. My family was great. They were really helpful. So yeah.
So do you have other films in the works? I mean, obviously, Molly's Goodbye is still hot on the table, but do you have any other films, any feature length, other stories that you're working on? Do you know what you're going to do after Molly's Goodbye is released?
I really, really believe in this film. It's called This Is He. Um,
Oh, okay.
there,
Yeah, I saw some behind the scenes stuff that you put on your socials there. Yeah, that's so
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. We put some stuff on Instagram and TikTok too. I think we'll put some more stuff everywhere about that film. We're in the middle of shooting it right now, so yeah, that film I really think is going to be great. And yeah, Leah is just so smart. grateful that Leah asked me to produce for her and help out. She also helped me on Molly's Goodbye. She was around and on set and everything, and so that we got to know each other doing that. And now I'm helping her make her movie, and it's great. So I'm really excited about that. That's also where my focus is at right now as well, because I'm working on that a lot.
I really enjoyed talking with you, especially. I've been looking forward to this. Molly's Goodbye, the trailer was the first piece of your work that I saw. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, we're really excited in seeing both Molly's Goodbye and also This Is He, which is all the other projects that all the other students have as well. I'm seeing some really good stuff. Some good stuff on socials for it. So I'm excited. Thank you so much, Blake. This has been The Slate. Thank you so much for joining us.
Take care, Blake.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thank you.
To donate, scan the QR code and give what you can. We greatly appreciate your support.